Oh, looks like we are live. Sweet, we are good to go. What's going on, people? Welcome to another edition of the Streamline Podcast. I'm your boy NarikChase, and this is episode 51. I have with me, normally I do the Streamline Podcast by myself, and I wanted to extend this to a break of debates, but it's a discussion I felt I wanted to do myself. But Madam B is going to be joining me on this episode of Streamline Podcast, guys, so I hope you enjoy it. We are, of course, talking about this whole controversy that's going around. Henry Cavill mm, either has officially been written off as Superman for the DCEU, or is like we don't really know. There's a lot going around saying that he isn't going to be Superman in the DCU films. They're talking about recasting and everything. And we already know this bit of an issue that Warner Bros. Has got going right now because, after all, they're doing the same thing with Ben Affleck. So I don't know what the hell's going on with Warner Bros. What are your thoughts? Well, she's busy looking up stuff. But I am, for the most part, like pissed. Okay, I don't care what no one says. I've been with Henry Cavill casting since I've seen Man of Steel. I think he is the best on-screen Superman we've had, hands down. The dude definitely gives the character edge. He has the physique. He has the look, the commanding presence. He owns the role of Superman. I like the original Christopher Reeve. He was awesome. I like Brandon Routh personally. I thought he paid a lot of homage to Christopher Reeve's portrayal. I like Tom Welling in Smallville, and I like the dude that's in Supergirl. But Henry Cavill is the hands down the best Superman we had. I'm pissed off because I feel like this at this point is like this is at the point where the DCEU is in trouble. I don't like admitting it, but it is because they're making these dumbass decisions. It isn't me personally saying the movies, because they said the movies were like wasn't bringing in the money. I was like, that's a lie. The only movie that they've made so far that has not brought in the money they expected was pretty much Justice League. Suicide Squad did well. Wonder Woman did well. Batman v Superman did well. Man of Steel did well. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? But Henry Cavill as Superman, he owns that role. There's no reason at this point to recast the character. I would have loved to see him play in the sequel, because that's another problem. That was another problem that's been going on. They're trying to put all of these dumbass movies out that don't need to be made yet, that haven't even been established in the DCEU yet, and they're not even going to make a Superman sequel. We have a Wonder Woman sequel coming out, mind you. They're working on a Batman movie coming out, but Man of Steel 2. Why don't we have one? The Man of Steel is what kicked off the DCEU. It had enough presence. It had enough representation. It had enough edge to kick it on. And for them to just completely write just whatever they're doing, whatever the hell that they are doing with the DCEU, Warner Bros. Needs to cut that shit out. One, they can't hold on. Big Three was pretty much carrying the DCU right now. Again, I hate to say that. Aquaman's coming out, supposed to be coming out. We got Wonder Woman coming out next year, and it's like, come on now, Man of Steel, and they're working on a Batman movie, but not a Man of Steel 2. Man of Steel 2, and all the stories they can go with, all the freaking villains he could be fighting, so many different directions, and they have not thought to make a Man of Steel 2. I heard that there was talk that he was supposed to cameo in Shazam, which I'm on the fence about Shazam anyway, because I don't like Shazam personally. I think it's an interesting idea, but I just don't like the representation of that idea, and especially the movie. Especially when I seen from what I've heard, there ain't gonna really be like a supervillain in the movie per se. And if they would have at least brought Black Adam into the pitch, I've been cool with it. Dwayne Johnson would have played an awesome Black Adam. But if you want to go see a good Shazam movie, watch Superman Shazam Return of Black Adam. Like, that's a good origin story for Shazam in that. But aside from that, I'm really pissed. You have any thoughts on it?
Um, Not really. It's a well. They said they didn't have any upcoming movies for him yet. Like for like a in a few years they might, but he wanted to take on the role as the Witcher in the upcoming TV series, and I guess maybe it somehow got conflicted. Maybe the cameo in Shazam was supposed to do something. I don't think he really wanted to do that anyway. They wanted him to do that. He posted a video on his Instagram page. It was like he didn't say anything. It was just him holding up a little Superman doll and with the serious look on his face, and then he just brung it back down, not really saying anything. And he just put today was exciting hashtag Superman. So,
And I think this is what it is. They didn't. They because they're trying to do so many different movies. They pushed out Superman, thinking that the popularity of him in the movies, either it was the popularity of him being in the movies, or because he was in Justice League, they're trying to like make everybody else more important. But I'm like, Superman is one of your front runners. You run with that. You do like you can put a Joker movie out, but you can't put a Man of Steel 2 out. You can put a Batman movie out, no Man of Steel 2. You're trying to make a Cyborg and Flash movie, no. You try to make a Green Lantern movie, no Man of Steel 2. What they're doing is dumb. It makes no sense.
um, yeah, maybe they wanted him to. He like I said, he really didn't want to do the cameo in Shazam, but because he was busy working on other things, so I guess they just wanted all his time for some other odd reason, but they wasn't really having him do anything because they already said they didn't have another movie yet for him.
And that in itself don't make sense.
So I guess he has a right to pursue other stuff, but I guess after that and after he didn't want to do the cameo, I guess they just said it was scheduling conflicts.
It wasn't
It's
no
like
scheduled
a job.
conflicts.
Like you can't have two jobs. I guess is what they're saying.
Yeah, plenty of actors sit there and act in like two or three movies in the same year, and they acting. Yeah, plenty of actors do that. Uh, but this is the thing I don't understand. They're saying the scheduling conflicts, but they said they didn't have a Superman movie come. That's the point. You didn't have a Superman movie, a sequel coming up yet. If you had the sequel, then the Witcher thing, which I think Henry Cavill could be awesome as the Witcher, but you could have put that man up in the Superman sequel, and he could have been working on the Witcher too. I don't understand what the hell they doing now. Like they making the dumbest damn decisions. And I'm not the person that's normally like, okay, well if they tend to recast someone, I'm like, that's the only person that can play that role. They could never replace that person. I'm like, no, you've already established him in the DCEU. Keep it going. And then and another thing that pissed me off was they said, okay, we're not going to focus on Superman. We're going to focus on Supergirl. I'm like, that's the fucking point. Stop focusing on Supergirl when you ain't fully established Superman. And like when all of these movies is coming up, what else Superman supposed to be? And then on top of that, for what I read, I think that's the same place I read from. They're talking about it's supposed to follow Supergirl on Krypton. Nobody want to see that shit. I'm sorry, I don't. If I want to watch Krypton, I either watch Supergirl or the show Krypton, which I ain't heard nothing about since it came out. But Henry Cavill has only been Superman for 5 years, and he's only been in 3 movies. That doesn't make any sense. 5 years, 3 movies. I don't understand. It should have been a Man of Steel sequel coming out every 2 years. That should have been established right off the bat. They got enough stories. They got enough villains. They got enough characters to support it. I'm pissed. I am beyond pissed. Well, and what else they got? Ryan Gosling as Batman. I didn't want to bring that up, but I can actually see that. I like him. I like Ryan Gosling. It was either Batman or Superman. I think it was Batman. And then John Hamm, which I think I know who John Hamm is. I think he played in that movie, Baby Driver. And I also think he played in that what's that show? It's a really famous show. Where he plays like I think some guy who's pretending to be a dead guy. To pretend he took the identity of this dead guy. I'm trying to think. Let me see, John Hamm.
Well, they're getting ready to lose two big ones, so they're trying to find people to replace them. I've heard names as
Mad Men. That's what it is. I'm sorry.
Names as
Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill.
No, somebody to actually replace them.
Oh.
I forgot who they said about Batman, but
Hey, go John Hamm. I didn't recognize him at first.
And Nicolas Cage.
Hell no. Whoever thinks Nicolas Cage can play a Superman, I'm sorry, I'm saying you're a fucking idiot. There is no movie in this man's career that makes you think he could play a Superman.
Well, he was up for Superman role quite a while ago, but people change, things change.
Because they about to realize that nobody want to see that shit. Who the hell want to see Nicolas Cage as Superman? Come on. And maybe because I don't like him, but I have not seen a movie where I was like, Nicolas Cage went off the chain. The only movie, let me take that back. The only movie I seen, I was like, okay, Nicolas Cage was all right. Face Off. I liked him in Face Off. I liked him in Raising Arizona. Next, he was all right. Every other movie I've seen him in, which I ain't seen all the movies, but every other movie I've seen him in, he sucked. Except for The Wicker Man. He deserved it. He should have got a fucking award for that. When he got his ass whooped and burned alive. That's the best performance I've ever seen that dude do. But Nicolas Cage, I can't believe who in the hell would say something that damn stupid. I'm a fan of a lot of actors. I wouldn't say that actor should play Superman. I like Brad Pitt. I don't think Brad Pitt should play Superman, and Brad Pitt's a fantastic actor.
Michael B. Jordan.
Now that's a SJW bullshit right there. They're trying to cast a black guy to play Superman. I'm not normally the one to. I'm not the one to usually say that because James Bond. They were talking about Idris Elba, and I was like, well, Idris Elba should be able to play James Bond because he's a fictional character, and you would want a good actor to play the person. Okay, cool. Now I want to take that back on this. Michael B. Jordan. He's a great actor. He's already played a superhero. He's already played a supervillain. He does not need to play Superman. There's tons of other actors out there who could fucking play Superman. And I like Michael B. Jordan, but he don't need to be in every fucking thing, okay?
I mean, well, there's still more information to come concerning Henry Cavill's exit.
And even though
Ben Affleck.
And they said even there's some parts that even say like he isn't out officially. They just don't have anything planned for him.
Yeah, so I can understand him not wanting to wait around, so he's got other things. So yeah. And
like I said, actors do tend to do more than work on two or three movies at a time. It's not very uncommon, but I can understand what you're saying. But it still does not make any sense. Superman does not have a fucking sequel. That's like mind-boggling. The original Superman series came out, but I think 3 movies at the same amount of time. And I like Michael B. Jordan, but there are plenty of black characters he could play outside of Superman. I'm going to take my thing back on this one. I'm sorry. I like Michael B. Jordan, but no. There's plenty of white actors that can play Superman. There are plenty of black characters he can play. If you need some help, I can look this shit up right now. I'm gonna do it right here. Black superheroes and villains in DC Comics.
Wow.
John Stewart, Blue Marvel. I mean, there is a black Superman. There is. Don't get me wrong, y'all. Uh, but we ain't fully established the original Superman. So I just go up and switch like that. That's the thing that's pissed me off. Like I wouldn't mind him playing it. It's just that you didn't give the original him, you didn't give Henry Cavill his run before you introduce somebody new. That's the thing that's getting me. Jesus.
I mean, maybe they wanted to do. I don't know. Look how long it took them to come out with another Avatar. So
Because Avatar was a one original concept. It was like a one off. Superman has had decades of stuff.
I mean, yeah. So they. I'm not trying to take up from Warner Bros. But I mean, maybe they want to change it, but what they're doing with the other characters, like focusing on so many and trying to make movies for a lot of them, and then it don't turn out good. When you can be focusing on the original, give them their time, give them their backstory or whatever, and then go on to the next line that's behind the original. Everybody does deserve a chance, but with all this superheroes I'm not familiar with, they're making movies for them instead of concentrating on, the
This
original.
this the one time I'm gonna do this comparison. They should did like Marvel. What Marvel did, and I would say is a brilliant tactic. Mind you, Marvel is not the first company to come out with some cinematic universe. Anybody that thinks that's an asshole, whoever going around there saying that shit is an asshole. That's not true. Several other franchises, the Universal Monsters, that was that Godzilla, King Kong, Gamera, those were cinematic universes. So having said that, DC needs to take a page from the Marvel thing on this. Marvel said these three characters we're going to make a series of movies of them. The next we're going to make a series of them together. Then we're going to split it up a little bit more. Then we're going to keep splitting it up, but still focus on the character. What DC is trying to do, they're not layering it. They're saying this is what we're going to do. Wow, just throw everything out. But you can only base, and they're not basing the stuff off what's their successes. They're just saying, okay, we're going to do somebody. It's like some blind kid reaching a jar with a bunch of names in it, and it was like pluck 20 out, and whatever 20 you pick, that's what we're going to work on. It's like, no, you can't make a Birds of Prey because you haven't established enough of the DCEU universe. You haven't established none of the shit with any of the supporting cast for the Flash, any of the supporting cast for Cyborg, any of the supporting cast for Aquaman, Superman. Well, some of Superman's. Superman. Let me go back. Superman and Wonder Woman. You've established them. Batman. You haven't established them. You got Black Canary. What movie Black Canary going to show up? Huntress. When she's going to show up? You already showed up Harley Quinn and stuff, but you haven't given Joker a proper his proper screen debut. I liked him in Suicide Squad. I did, but he didn't have the proper time.
So which one? Jared Leto's Joker or just the Joker?
Jared Leto's Joker. I don't care what nobody said. I do like him. He did a great Joker. And mostly because, and I don't like lingering on to it, mostly because he gave his Joker something that the other ones lacked. He acted like a fucking gangster. That's what I liked about him. Jack Nicholson was a mob. I guess you could say Heath Ledger was kind of a mob person too. But this one was like he was a gangster. He was a criminal. He looked like it. He acted like it. I like that about that. But back to this Henry Cavill, Warner Brothers. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. I'm sorry. I was with y'all on the DCEU. I was a devout fan. I like all your movies. They have problems, but I love them all. But y'all gonna sit around and turn around and do this? No, no. Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman should have easily had at least 2 or 3 movies apiece. And then while y'all in the sequels for these movies, introduce Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman. And then y'all already put your team movie together. Keep building it after that.
What do you think about Henry Cavill joining Marvel?
They don't need to do that. They're already talking about some. Uh, the guy that wrote Guardians of the Galaxy is going to cross over to DC. James Gunn, wherever that guy is. Then they're talking about recasting Superman as with Michael B. Jordan. They don't need to do that either. No, no. I mean, I guess if you mean you make your money, you do what you got to do to make money or whatever. But I don't want that to be this thing because it failed in one comic book. You know, one side they want everybody gonna transfer. You know, say they want to transfer to the other. This ain't basketball.
Well, like I said, guess we'll have to see. I mean, what other information they have because it's not. They just like gave us little bits and pieces and that little silent video he did on Instagram. So they said they really didn't know what it means. So, when I
Man,
saw it, I didn't know what it meant.
I mean, they can honestly still make. They can still have him do The Witcher and work him in the Superman around their schedule. They could do that. The problem is they're trying to do everything else. They don't. Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, Joker. What else? Green Lantern Corps. Well, not the Green Lantern Corps. I do want to see that. The rest of that stuff, put that on the back burner. Do your Batman, do your Wonder Woman, do your Aquaman, get somebody to do the damn Flash movie, and don't do Flashpoint yet because it's stupid to you ain't established the world yet. So there's no reason for Flashpoint to be in yet. Make that be the sequel. But yeah, that one kind of pissed me off. I don't like that. I don't. I don't like the fact they talking about Ben Affleck is out as Batman. I thought it was the best Batman, honestly. But
There were some problems with that. Always problems with something.
and it's like you cast someone, and I don't like this thing that they're doing. They're talking about rebooting it. It's like don't reboot it. Quit trying to reboot stuff. Quit trying to start over. You have a foundation. Build from it. If one part is weak, don't replace the whole fucking foundation. Fix that part that's weak. You got a piece of a log or whatever, and it's not and it's weak. You know what I'm saying? Redo it. Don't redo the entire fucking foundation. Henry Cavill ain't the problem in Superman, so there's no reason that there ain't no Superman stuff to come out. There should be at least 3 movies already planned when Man of Steel came out.
Well, this comment is kind of like what you said. It's just another obvious note to make is that the fact they have taken too long to put out DC Universe movies. That's the primary reason why fans will never fully embrace them. By the time the next 2 movies come out, you're looking at the next generation of moviegoers who are unfamiliar. You know, and the script writers and producers act like no one will notice any changes. And so really loyal fans, they do notice changes, and that's a good one. That's why I said that. Because if you really got a good foundation going and good script, you should not take you that long to put out another movie of something that's like you said.
But that's what I'm saying. The problem is just spreading themselves too thin. Instead of continue like they're talking about a Nightwing, a Batgirl, a Supergirl. Why the fuck are you doing that? We ain't even fully established everything. Y'all throwing in all of this. Oh my god, I'm done. I hate seeing something that could be awesome. And I don't agree with that last part that person said about how the younger generation is not gonna know because that's BS. Superman's been out for over 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying that's like if that's the case, then I wouldn't know who the hell Superman was or any of his original stuff. Like, no, I don't believe that. And I'm still watching. We still was watching Superman from back in the day. That part I don't agree with. And I'm not going to say them taking too long to do the DC thing because DC's always put out movies. I think they actually no, they had. I want to say they put out more movies than Marvel actually, but I don't know at this point. But but that's just the thing, you know. DC, it ain't about them taking their stuff too long. It's that when you do stuff, you need to do stuff right. Those writers that are working on these scripts for Batgirl, Nightwing, Supergirl, Harley Quinn, Harley and Poison Ivy, Joker film, uh, what else? Birds of Prey. All of those writers and stuff that they're putting into that, they need to put it into these movies. That's just the biggest problem. Stop doing that shit. But this is the longest streamlined podcast we done did. But let me go ahead and end it there, guys. Is it that you want to add with that? Uh, Guys, in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about this whole issue with Henry Cavill possibly not being Superman anymore, and also him being recast. Any information as to who that they're picking next to Michael B. Jordan, which no, I like Michael B. Jordan, but no. Uh, but any information, go ahead and throw it in the comments, thoughts, comments. Hey, just let us know what you're thinking about this. Also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. And guys, stay tuned because we do have more videos coming out tonight. And we'll catch you guys later.